Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. I'm your host, Chewy Plays Nintendo, joined by my co-host, Sergio. We're finally back from a short break for Easter. Unfortunately, we couldn't record during that time because my schedule was crazy. But anyways, today we're going to catch up on the recent updates to Pocket Camp, which are unfortunately kind of over right now. But we did have some things to say about them. Specifically, Zipper's Wonderland gardening event and round 3 of the Super Mario crossover event. Then we're going to talk about some of the recent news that may be pointing at an Animal Crossing announcement. Or may just be getting my hopes up. Anyways, hi Sergio, how are you doing?
Hi, Chewy. Hello, everyone. How are you guys?
Cool. So yeah, we had a little break and we had some events come and go in that time that we've been gone. So the first one we had was the Zippers Wonderland event. I guess technically it was the second one, but it was the bigger of the two events, I think.
True, right.
So yeah, how did you feel getting yet another gardening event?
Yeah, right. This is the fourth one. And, well, we did know that it was going to be better because of the improvements that they have made to gardening. And you could definitely tell. But at the same time, I'm sure you're going to agree that the spawn rates of the new creature were pretty bad. And also the catch rates.
Yeah, once again, I think they're still messing with that a little bit. Because I think last time we all had a pretty easy time finishing the event, you
Right.
know? And then this time, I think they've got made it a little harder once again. Um, but I don't know. I felt like this time was kind of the closest it's been to perfect for me.
Hmm.
Because I barely finished the event like that Sunday, and I caught everything essentially, and
Right.
saw the little cutscene at the end. You know.
Oh, yeah. I loved it.
So I think it worked for me because I did it the whole time. But at the same time, I felt like I didn't play too much to accomplish it. I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, I guess just for me, it felt like they finally got the ratios kind of lined up where it's challenging but doable.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, for sure, you notice that they're changing the amount of creatures that you need for the things. So, yeah, they're harder to catch and they're harder to spawn from the beginning, but you need less for each item. Except, I don't know, at the end, the last bump for the last creature, it seemed a little higher than I thought it would be.
Oh yeah, the one you're talking about, I think, is the majestic scramblers.
Right.
I guess we haven't talked about what we were catching yet. But before we tell you that, that last jump was like you'd you'd get a reward for 35, and then the final one was 45,
Right.
and then it was just sparkle stones, which nobody even cares about. Um, But since I did mention scramblers, you want to tell us quickly what those adorable little things are?
Sure. So it's basically eggs with legs, and they have four different types. This was an Alice in Wonderland themed event with Zipper T Bunny, or just Zipper as we know him. Actually, him or her, we don't know. That's the thing, right? Who is Zipper?
Yeah, that's a big mystery because part of the fun with Zipper's character is that Zipper's name comes directly from this is a bunny costume. Sorry kids, but this Easter bunny is not real. They're clearly wearing a costume, and we can tell by the zipper on their back.
Right, right. Even if it doesn't like talking about it.
Yeah, which you posted a little photo that caught the zipper, right?
Right.
Yeah, I was worried that we weren't going to be able to see it because I was like, "Oh, well, usually you talk to Zipper from from their backside, so then their back is facing you,
Right.
you know?"
Hmm.
But when you talk with people in this game, it kind of takes you into a new screen.
Hmm.
So there's no guarantee that you're gonna see the zipper. So when you posted that photo, I was very happy.
Right. Yeah. It's a classic Animal Crossing thing.
Yeah, so who is your prediction for who is in that bunny costume?
I think it makes sense for it to be Blanca.
Blanca. Okay, for some reason I always thought it was Tortimer.
Hmm.
And I think it was because of the Cornimer character. I don't know if anybody remembers Cornimer. That's with the C instead of a T. Um, like acorns, essentially. But one of the big unique things from Wild World was that Tortimer would dress up as like this acorn man thing, and he would be called Cornimer. So just from then, I was like, oh, maybe it's Tortimer who's dressed up as the bunny. And I don't know. I guess Blanca makes sense in terms of like the character not being happy about dressing up.
Hmm.
Um, because I don't know, Zipper does give you some sass about being in that costume.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You can tell they're not happy about it. And but at the same time, I imagine if Mayor Tortimer, this really old 200-year-old tortoise, by the way, I'm calling him a tortoise now because somebody corrected me. They called me out. They caught me calling Tortimer a turtle,
Right.
but he's not. He's a tortoise. So, anyways, he's a 200-year-old tortoise. Of course, he's going to be angry, jumping around, and having to, do all these stunts
Right.
in a costume. um, but yeah, I think those are good guesses. I think I've heard other people guess that it's like Rover or something.
Oh, I
I,
like that.
I didn't, yeah, I didn't look into it too deep, but it was an option.
Hmm. There's also speculation that it might be another human, so another human player in town.
Wow. Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that. Funny side story. I was kind of looking at characters because I had a realization for City Folk had a couple characters that aren't in New Leaf,
Hmm.
and they were special characters. There was one called Frillard, who is Shrunk's kind of mentor,
Right.
and he's a lizard guy who's got those cool, what do you call them? I guess they're frills, like their neck kind of
Mm-hmm.
flaps out. And then there was another one. I think she was I always thought she looked like a Chihuahua, but her name was Serena,
Hmm.
and she lived in a fountain. You would see kind of a statue of her when you were in the city, but you could actually get a fountain in your town, and you'd see her whenever you threw an axe in there.
Right.
Um, but anyways, I'm telling you this because this took me down the rabbit hole. But there was one other
Oh.
gnome-like character in the original GameCube game. I don't remember his name now, but yeah, that was the most human-like character in the game prior.
Hmm. Okay. Right.
Yeah, so who knows? Zipper could be. Maybe your mom is Zipper.
True.
Because you never see, you have a mom,
Yeah.
you have a dad, and maybe they're annoyed because they can't tell you their secret that they are Zipper.
Right. Right. I think that's part of the mystery. The fact that Zipper is so upset about the job. I think if he or she was happy about it, it would sort of point us towards who it could be.
Yeah, that'd be a fun little story, I think. If Animal Crossing were to have stories outside of the Animal Crossing movie.
Right.
And, we do get a little bit of background with like the Able sisters and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but it'd be sorry. I feel like I'm always hopping into like, oh, what if we had cutscenes for characters and we got to learn more about all the special characters that lived in town.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, which would be fun, especially with, relationship building and if they add in the like level up system for your friends.
Hmm. Right.
Um, Regardless, I went way off topic there. Let's get back to Zipper's Wonderland. So you mentioned it was Alice in Wonderland theme. I thought that was weird at first. I was not expecting that at all.
Right. Hmm.
But I think the items were great. I think they were more popular than the Super Mario event
Yes,
items,
for
you know?
sure. Right.
Because I think the more popular items in this game have been like the new things that we haven't seen before.
Hmm.
And, Alice in Wonderland's pretty fun.
Yeah. And the new creatures, they were called scramblers, and basically they're eggs with legs, but we all agreed that they're super cute.
I love them. It took me a little bit to realize. I don't know why this took me so long, but I was like, oh, of course, the chicken's only like half hatched.
Right.
So its little legs are sticking out. It's not just an egg that has legs.
Right.
I don't know why that took me so long. But yeah, they were super cute. What I liked, they were painted like they were Easter eggs, you know.
Mhm.
And then the second one, they had little hats,
Yeah, I love that one. Yeah.
little top hats. Those are adorable.
Yep.
Yeah, so I like the look of that. That was super cute. So what did you think of like the items and such? Were you a fan?
Yeah, I like the cat costume, and I like a lot of for example, the table and the party teacups and the chairs. Yeah, everything was pretty nice.
Yeah, I think it was a fun little theme for it. I'm wondering now. I imagine next year we'll get something different because this is going to be like the fun thing about playing this game. It's seeing like what events happen for next Easter or something, you know?
Right.
Because we have gotten plenty of holidays now, but I imagine there'll be one-time things, which is also kind of sad because that might have been your only chance to get all of these items in your game.
Right. Or you know how we always get duplicate items of whatever we get? Maybe instead of
Yeah.
that, for future events, the duplicates are gonna be the items from the previous event in case you missed something.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be good.
Hmm.
Yeah. And if like they just kind of added to a set or something too.
Right. Hmm.
Yeah. I think that's a good possibility.
Right. So they keep new events for people like us that have been up to date and also the previous ones, or they might charge leave tickets for the previous ones and charge you for having to catch up.
Yeah. And then leaf tickets. I get there was one specific new thing with leaf tickets this time around, and I'm surprised it took them this long, but I'm also kind of sad that it's finally happened. But for the Super Mario event, there were items that we had to craft with leaf tickets.
Right.
So I could see that happening with the gardening event.
Oh, yeah, that's actually a sad but good point.
Yeah, because that's the thing with the game. I wish we had solid numbers on like how much money they're making off of these things. Because then we'd have a better idea of like, I guess just what they're gonna do in the future in
Hmm.
terms of leaf tickets. Because I still think they're kind of overpriced. But yeah, I don't know.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah, so unfortunately, this event is now over because, like I said, we had a week off. We didn't get to talk about it on time, but I can promise you that there will be another gardening event. So, when that gardening event comes, do you have any like tips and things for people?
Yeah, for sure. So our first tip is to remind you to always leave a couple of flowers that are bloomed already so that people can always share whatever creature is shareable in the event. Some people have been using between 3 and 5 flowers so that, there's always room for sharing.
Yeah, and I think the good thing about that is like you want friends that you can share with as well. Um, because when you do, you get some extra seeds
Hmm.
that go toward your garden again. So, it's kind of a win-win. Somebody will leave you some eggs while you're not expecting some. It kind of eliminates the waiting game.
Right.
Meanwhile, if you go over to somebody's place and drop off some eggs there, you're going to get some seeds right back so you can plant them.
Right. And if you happen to have time in between the lapses of the full blooming, who knows, you might have between three and five creatures that you can get already while the rest of the flowers are blooming.
Yeah. And the easiest way to get the seeds is definitely sharing your eggs. It's much more time consuming, and you don't get as many when you're just, doing chores for a villager in any campsite.
Right. Hmm.
Yeah. Another thing was like not to forget about the flower trade.
Hmm.
Typically, we get some pretty cool things. The thing they've been doing recently, which has been a good change, is they've allowed you to trade some of your old flowers for the new flower seeds.
Oh, yes, that was one of the biggest improvements they made to gardening.
Yeah, which there were more improvements to gardening. I almost forgot. We haven't talked about that. I went
Right.
off on a tangent. um, let's quickly go over the improvements. What do you like about the changes?
It's a lot easier and it's more sort of quality of life improvement. So you can harvest, plant, and water all the flowers at once.
Yes, finally.
Finally.
It's so easy. Now I just click harvest many. I click that all button and then maybe click some off to leave some flowers.
Right.
Typically, I harvest them all though in the beginning. But I'll harvest them and then I can plant all of the seeds all at once. I think the one place where they kind of fell short is that you still don't have the option to leave many like
Hmm.
bugs,
Right.
in this case, scramblers. You'd still have to go one by one on
Hmm.
every flower.
Right. I agree. I think in a future update they will probably add that. It just makes sense.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think eventually I'll get to it. I don't know exactly why they haven't yet. I'm guessing just with like the way the loading and saving works for the game.
That's true.
Um,
Right.
so maybe it's not possible quite yet, but I'm
Right.
sure they'll find a way to patch that out eventually.
Right. Hmm.
Yeah. So I guess back to the thing, the flower trade is pretty useful. Usually they have crafting materials and essences for the first round. Um, I I'm at the point where I skip all the crafting materials. I have upwards of 300 of everything, and for the most part, most things I have over 700
Yeah.
of.
Right. Hmm.
So I'm not in need of crafting materials right now.
Right.
So I skipped those. Even the essences, I've been skipping more. And it was mostly because last gardening event, they introduced the flower trade to trade for more of the event items,
Hmm.
you know?
Right.
So in this one, I think you could get like another of the screens.
Right. In the balloons.
Yeah, the balloons, those are the ones I
Yeah.
liked. I made sure to get another balloon thing.
Right.
I thought that was cute. And then they had some of the clothing too. I think it was the Alice in Wonderland dress.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I think it was just called the Wonderland dress though.
Right.
I don't know if they can use the actual title,
Right.
but we all knew what they're going for. um, but yeah, so I've been saving more of my flowers for those extras of those items. And then when I'm done getting my fill of whatever I want from that, in this case, I think I got one extra of everything.
Hmm.
And then I just use the rest on essences that I need.
Right. And there's also a little bit of flower food. So you have a little extra for the next gardening event. There's always a next gardening event.
Yeah, always the next one. It's probably going to happen in a couple weeks, so
Yeah.
watch out. Maybe 3 weeks,
Right.
They're so often. It's amazing. Yeah. So did you have any other tips?
Yeah, for example, I mean, for me, definitely, I'm still trying to fill up on the Harmonious Essence, the newest one. So this
Mm.
was a good opportunity. Like you, I also skipped on most of the essences except that one. I still need as much of that one as I can get.
Yeah, for me, I prioritized. I definitely got harmonious. I got mostly sporty this time around, though.
Hmm.
I've noticed they've added a lot of sporty characters, and it's definitely because a lot of the amenities need sporty essences.
Hmm.
I think that's the one you need the most. So that's what I went for this
Oh,
time
okay,
around.
makes sense.
hmm And yeah, like you said, you can get some flower food, which is always helpful. There are going to be more gardening events in later on. I definitely used my flower food up until the last minute.
Right.
um, so it was very helpful. And I guess for anybody who's having trouble with these gardening events, because I imagine it's pretty hard when you don't have friends to share with, you know?
Hmm.
Because it's easier to get seeds, it's easier to get more of the bugs that have shown up. But anybody who's having trouble, definitely join our Discord. We have links. If you're watching in YouTube, it's in the description below. Check that out. You'll be able to join Discord. If you're listening on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, any other place, the description typically has a link for everything. So if you want to join Discord, it's completely free. You don't have to be a Patreon patron of the show. It's just, an open community for people who love Animal Crossing. And Sergio and I are always there, just hanging out.
Yeah, right. And we know everybody, and we know that we're living between 3 and 5 flowers, so we're always sharing amongst us. And by the end of the event, for example, today we were asking, okay, who needs Majestic, who needs this, and we're sharing and making sure everybody completes the event successfully.
Yeah, because a lot of us always have extras by the end, and
Right,
so we have plenty to go around.
right.
Yeah, and yeah, we're all pretty nice. Just trying to have some fun playing some Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
Yeah. So at the same time, we have had the end of the Super Mario crossover event. Round three finally
right.
happened. What did you think about this round?
It was nice. The new item or the new mushroom was the Mega Mushroom. And more of the same. You fulfill requests, you get mushrooms. There's new items. We briefly touched on this earlier in the show that now there are items that you only can get via leaf tickets. And at the same time, however, when you craft some of these items, you get leaf tickets back. However, of course, it's not going to be as many as you need.
Yeah. I liked I liked that the rewards were leaf tickets in this one.
Mhm.
I think I was kind of sad to see that there were leaf ticket items that we need, or at least items that needed leaf tickets to be crafted.
Right. Mhm.
The thing that hurt me the most was round one and two. The leaf ticket item was 120 leaf tickets,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Each of them. It wasn't 120 total. So
Mhm.
each one was 120 leaf tickets. But then round three, they go ahead and they double that.
Right.
And they make it 240. Now that's, I don't know I just feel so bad about that because that's a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
I was feeling so proud of myself because I was calculating. I was saying to
Mm.
myself, oh, check this out. I will have enough leaf tickets to craft the next one if it's 120. I was expecting it to be 120.
Oh,
And then I can finally get the Celeste telescope.
right.
And then, no, that's not how it happened. Things went downhill.
Yeah, right.
But I did really appreciate that tons of the items that we crafted gave us leaf tickets.
Right.
Um,
You would get a total of 160. I mean, you still need to get 80 more on your own, or you need it from before, but 160, it's a good start.
yeah, and was that was just the number for the last portion, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so it gave you a majority of what you needed.
Hmm.
And then in the end, you had to spend 80 of your own tickets to actually get the item. Um, and I think I guess I'd like it to not be kind of like on the loss end of things.
Hmm.
It'd be nice if they gave you enough tickets to just craft it, you
Yeah,
know?
right. Hmm.
Um, because, it's still, that's part of the challenge, I think, like playing regularly, making sure you get enough of the mushrooms to craft the items. I think that on its own is challenge enough,
Yeah, right.
Um, so I think next time it'd be nice to just get as many leaf tickets as you need.
Right, even out, right.
But at the same time, I know Nintendo's trying to make money off of this game.
Right.
They're trying so hard. And a lot of us are fighting it.
Right,
I know a lot of our Discord group has not spent money on the game,
right.
and they don't plan on spending money on the game. And I don't think that's a problem. Um, we can spend money for them.
I sure have.
Yeah, so let's see. Before we move into that, because we are going to talk about what we've spent on the game so far, and I know your numbers are getting up there. Let's talk a little bit more about just these two events. So, how did you feel about having two events going on at the same time?
I liked it a lot in the sense that both events were had items that you would get from doing villager requests. So I spent a lot of time doing that. And you would get crafting items, but you would also get flowers and the mega mushrooms. I think it was very nice so that it didn't feel as much of a chore doing the chores because you would get rewards for two events and it just kept you going.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way about that because I think whenever there was just a gardening event going on, I'd feel like, oh man, I have to do the regular thing to get seeds to plant. I'm already so busy just trying to plant seeds,
Right,
you know?
right.
So I think what helped a lot was, for one, you could harvest and plant seeds all at once.
Yes.
That cut down so much time that was needed to do the gardening portion of the event, you
Right,
know?
right.
And so then when I did that, when it came to doing the chores, the daily chores, or the every 3 hour chores,
Right. Hmm.
when it came down to doing that, I felt like, oh yeah, I'm getting double rewarded for this. It feels more worth it than usual,
Right.
you know?
Hmm.
So that I really appreciated
Hmm.
about the game. Um, well, there was something else I really liked about the two events. Oh, the other thing was, I think last time we spoke, I kind of talked about how underwhelmed I was by the Super Mario items.
Right. Yes.
I think it helped that I knew I was also working toward other items that were more interesting
Hmm.
to me. And I think they kind of made me interested in crafting the Super Mario items because they gave me leaf tickets for doing it.
Right. Right.
So that helped because at first I wasn't interested. But then I knew I was like getting flowers to get the Alice in Wonderland stuff. So the Mario stuff felt like an actual bonus compared to just regularly playing.
Right. And maybe not you, but anybody that was really, really tired of the Mario items, somebody that, for example, didn't want the fire bar, which was the item that cost 240 lift tickets, they could craft the other items, get those 160, and just keep them or use them for the gardening event.
Yeah, that's true. So for them, there was some free leaf tickets.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but that's not for me. I'd be so sad if I went into my catalog and saw
Right.
I was missing that item.
Right, I
uh,
figured.
the, the completionist part of me destroys it. Because it would be nice to have the leaf tickets,
Right,
especially
160.
Especially when we've got like the new terrain options that
Oh,
cost leaf tickets. Yeah, it'd be nice.
right.
Um, so anyways, yeah, I did like the leaf tickets, but this was the first time we had leaf ticket items to buy. How did you feel just about that?
Right. I mean, I agree with you. Hopefully in the next one they'll change it so that we even out and whatever leaf tickets you get, that's however many you need for the last item. Or what I've always wanted is that they might charge you leaf tickets for an item, but there should also be an option to use bells, even if it's a lot. I mean, it's just an option.
Yeah, even yeah, I think I agree with that for sure because if there's an option to just like spend maybe the options like an obscene amount of bells,
Right.
but even if that was an option, I think more people would be more open to it.
Yeah.
Or even if
Hmm.
it was like splitting the difference, you
Yeah.
know, like you
Right.
could put some bells toward it and then use some leaf tickets.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I think it's just that pricing is still too high in my opinion.
Right.
So yeah, it's something they've got to work on and find a good balance between. But at the same time, I feel like it's the thing they're not trying to balance as much.
Right. Right. I mean, hopefully they do.
Yeah, especially when we compare it, like, you know, when the game first came out, we had the KK slider chair and the Tom Nook chair. Those were both, I think, 250
Right.
Leaf tickets. A new item like that came out, the Celeste telescope, but that one's 350.
Hmm.
So now it's like you guys are trying to charge us even more for this stuff.
Right. There's no reason for the increase, and it's a hefty one.
Yeah. When I think the price was already high.
Right. Yep.
You know, 250 is already a lot of leaf tickets to spend on an item.
Right. Especially because by now we don't get as many.
Yeah, we've done the leveling up that we
Right.
will do. So, it, yeah, I'm low key kind of at the point where I want to start another file and get the item as a new character.
Oh.
Yeah, get make a new My Nintendo account
Right.
and log into that one. Um, Anyways, so yeah, real quickly, I guess there's some more updates coming to the game. Um, and we've gotten some of them. So, in case
Right.
you missed them, there was the novelty leaf tickets, which were given to us for April Fools. Um, Essentially, they're just like a stack of leaf tickets that you can use as furniture.
Right.
So you can, you know, have your dollar bills by your bedside or something. And then there's some new clothes crafting. Some new clothes is already available
Mhm.
that are already available that you can craft. And then the other thing recently were the new walls, floors, and camper styles.
Right. Those were very recent, maybe as little as yesterday,
Yeah,
or
there.
which would be the Saturday before the podcast.
Yeah, I think last Saturday they added those things, and there's some campers that I liked in that
Yeah.
group. I think the campers have captured the balance the best still to this
Hmm.
day,
Hmm.
because we get options that cost leaf tickets, but we also get options that cost bells. That's all I'm asking for.
Right. Right. Hmm.
Specifically for the terrains, please just give us some more bell terrains, you know?
Right.
Um, and then the upcoming ones, this one starts, I think today,
Hmm.
since this podcast goes up, the Gulliver cargo ship. I have no idea what this is going to
Right.
be. This is something I've been waiting for a while because I love the Gulliver character. I think
Hmm.
he's hilarious, one of the funnier characters in the game. Um, but also, you get some pretty cool items. I guess I'm not huge on pirates, but I kind of like the items that you get from them.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, so I think it's going to be fun. And then later this week, we're going to have the second fishing tourney. And I think this one's actually going to take place in the river.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, the first one we had with the ocean fish.
Right.
I think this next one's going to be in the river. So, I'm really excited to see what new fish we're going to see.
Yeah, right.
Because I liked getting to see clownfish and what were the other fish? There was the barred knife jaw
Right.
and what are those blue fish called? I forget.
I forget.
Was it surgeon fish?
Yes, that was it exactly.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I loved seeing the new fish in the game, and I think overall the event was fun. But so demanding.
Hmm.
Once again, an event that keeps you so busy.
Right, right. We better get ready.
But I'm excited to see Gulliver. Very excited to talk about it and what it actually is, because right now it is a mystery.
Right.
um, so yeah, as mentioned earlier, we've spent some money on Pocket Camp. Specifically, you've spent a lot of money on Pocket Camp. So how much have you spent up to this point?
So up to a few hours ago, it had been $100 or so, but I kind of panicked on the last few hours of the gardening event because this weekend was pretty busy. I didn't get to play as much as I wanted, unfortunately. So now it is at 125.
Wow, you spent quite a bit for this last one.
Right, right.
Was it a bundle that you bought?
Yes, it was I think it's 2099.
Okay. And then what did that give you?
It gave you 600 leaf tickets and it gave you some flower food, which I used as well.
Wow, I wish I had 600 leaf tickets. That is a good amount of leaf tickets. So was that it? Just flower food too on top of that?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay, because I have specific complaints about these bundles, specifically the gardening bundles. Um, so we got bundles for the Super Mario event, right?
Hmm.
You get some leaf tickets, you get some of the crafting materials, and then you're done. That's what you get.
Right.
For the gardening event, you get some leaf tickets and you get flower food. While flower food is good, I think it's nice. I really think they should throw in some of the seeds for that event.
Yeah. Yeah, because it would cut down time having to get the seeds.
Yeah, and I think since you're paying money, like you get 5 special seeds when you first start the event, and those grow really quickly,
Hmm.
you know? I think the seeds you get should be
Oh,
like those plus seeds that grow right away, like within that minute, and then you're done, you know?
right. Right.
Um, that's my only problem with the gardening bundles. Um, Flower food's nice, but getting the seeds would be nicer because I
Right.
think that takes some of the time away from, having to actually collect the seeds to do the event.
Yeah, that's I really agree with that point. Hmm.
Yeah, so that's my thing. Um, so, okay, so how much I have spent on the game, I don't remember exactly. I think I bought two of the $4 bundles. So that would put me at eight. And I think I just did one of the Super Mario.
Hmm.
So and I think I did the 199 option. So I think in total I've spent $10. It could be 12 in case I'm forgetting which one. Um, but I think for the most part, I'm trying to buy Leaf tickets when they're bundled with something, you know?
Right. Yes, definitely agree.
I think the bundles are nice. They give you a little bit toward whatever goal you're going toward.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm mostly in it for the Leaf tickets, and I think they can improve on the bundles.
Right. And my stance was going to be to only get those bundles, the ones that cost either $2 or $4, if I felt like I needed to or wanted to, sort of as a comfort zone or to have a little bit of backup in case I didn't have enough time to keep playing. But today I had to put that stance on hold.
Yeah. You know what? Here's another thing with the bundles. So I think for the Super Mario one, there was a 199 option, and then there was like a $20 option.
Right.
I I think they should have some more in the middle,
Mm,
some more middle tiers.
yeah.
Because I think if there was like the 399 one, because I think that's been my favorite bundle so far.
Hmm.
Usually spending like $4, and yeah, if that just add some more tiers to it,
Right. Hmm.
because it seems crazy to spend either $2 or
Twenty.
$20.
Right.
That's a big gap. But I agree. I think the bundles are the best time to buy, and that's also when you're more aware of what special items there are.
Right.
Um, so usually a bundle comes out, and when a new event happens, and then that event will reveal some Leaf ticket item that you don't have enough Leaf tickets for. So
Right.
it's a
Hmm.
good time to get them. So yeah, I think that is gonna do it for all of our, I guess, just the events that we've missed in the time that we've been gone.
Right.
But there was one last thing that I wanted to talk about, and it's been news about an Animal Crossing website update. So recently, the Animal Crossing official site had a couple pages that were clearly they should not have been visible to the public. And these were a news page and a videos page on the website. The news page, it had some images of Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, a bunch of the lorem ipsum kind of filler words that go in any post.
Right.
I guess I'm I write for a living, specifically like technical writing, and I'm in marketing. So typically lorem ipsum, we just kind of put that in place of actual content just to see what a page or a website would look like.
Hmm.
So it had that. It also had some of Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis, which is strange. That's just a book.
Right.
um, but yeah, that was the news page. The videos page was pretty interesting because the videos linked were not Animal Crossing at all. They were Breath of the Wild.
Hmm.
So Zelda Breath of the Wild. What I think is interesting about that is that this shows that these changes were pretty recent.
Right.
Um, we've known about Breath of the Wild for a while now, but I think the footage on there, unfortunately I didn't get a chance to double check before they removed these sites,
Hmm.
or at least they started redirecting these pages to the home page of the Animal Crossing site. So I didn't get to double check and see like if there was a Switch logo in those videos, because
Mm.
then that would really point toward this site being in preparation for a Switch title, you
Right.
know?
Right. Hmm.
Yeah, so I guess, did you look through these pages? Did you think of them at all?
Yes, I think by the time I got to it, they had already removed the videos. It was just empty links that wouldn't really load. But I agree, it's really interesting. It's it gets you makes you think.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, are they getting prepared for some sort of big announcement? And I'm currently working on a video where I'm kind of researching a lot of different aspects of, I guess, Animal Crossing's production process, um,
Mhm.
and trying to determine when we could see an Animal Crossing game. And I think I'm going crazy because I'm now setting my expectations way too high for E3,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna go ahead and expect an Animal Crossing announcement. I think this is something I've tried to avoid every year, because I don't want to have my heart broken.
Right,
But this year I'm going for it. I'm saying this is it. This is Animal Crossing.
right.
I guess how do you feel or how are you feeling about whether or not Animal Crossing is going to be announced this year?
So for me, the big push, or to me, the definitely moment was the previous direct. And I think when we didn't really hear anything, that really crushed me, and I'm just not expecting much, or at least I wasn't. But then I thought of something. In last last year's E3, Nintendo announced three games that took more than a year to come out. Three of those games that aren't even out yet. And one of them took 9 months to come out, which was Kirby. It came out last March. But it took 9 years between announcement and release. The other three games that aren't out yet are the Yoshi game, Metroid Prime 4, and I'm forgetting the other one.
And Pokemon.
That's the one, right? They made it official at E3, but we don't even know when those, especially the last two, we don't even know if we're getting them those this year. Yoshi, I do see it this year, but still, it's gonna be more than a year after they announced it. What
Yeah.
I'm going for with this is that Nintendo does tend to announce games that are gonna take more than a year to come out. With that in mind, it's very possible we'll see E3 Animal Crossing at least talked about at E3 for a 2019 release, whether it be early summer 2019, maybe.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. I think that's definitely good evidence that points toward some sort of announcement. I'm just hoping because Nintendo's been different this past year, you
Mhm,
know? They've announced games that are coming out within a year for the most part.
mhm.
I think you're spot on with the exceptions being Yoshi, Metroid, and Pokemon. And I'll even add one more for you because we haven't heard anything about this game since I think
Mm,
January 2017, but they also announced Fire Emblem
that's
was
right.
coming to the Switch. Um, so right now we have four games floating around, possibly a fifth with Pikmin 4. Who knows? Because I don't know. I think Miyamoto has made reference to the game
Hmm.
and that it exists, but I don't even know what to think about it
Right.
because they haven't said anything. So for now, let's just stick with the four that we know of. I for sure feel like Animal Crossing is one of those big titles for Nintendo that would get everybody hyped this year.
Hmm.
In what has been kind of so far a pretty like quiet year, I
Right.
think. January didn't have a game really, but understandable because the game right before that was Xenoblade Chronicles 2,
Right. Hmm.
which was huge.
Right.
So January didn't really have a game. February had Bayonetta 1 and 2, which were just, re releases, ports rather, of games that already existed.
Hmm.
It wasn't until March that we got a new title with Kirby Star Allies for Switch.
Right.
This month is Labo,
Hmm.
which yeah, I expect to be the big Nintendo release for the month.
Right. Yes.
Next month, May, we have two more games, but they're both ports.
Hmm.
There's Hyrule Warriors and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And then finally, June, we have another new game with Mario Tennis Aces. And as of last direct, now July, we have another port, Captain Toad.
Ah, that's right.
So this year's been it's been a lot of ports so far. Not too many new games for Nintendo fans.
Right.
So I think they're definitely saving the big games for the last half of the year. And so I'm looking at Yoshi, Fire Emblem, We've gotten Smash announced, which is already a huge title out of the way.
Right.
Well, not out of the way. We're both excited
Right.
for it. It's going to be fun. But at the same time, I'm just like, you guys are running out of things to announce. It's only a matter of time before you have to tell me Animal Crossing's coming.
Mhm.
So one big thing for me is that I remember E3 2015. That was the year I think all of us were as hyped as possible for Animal Crossing.
Mhm.
I think at that point, New Leaf had been out a couple years, and the Wii U had also been out. I think 2.5 years by then, and then
Yes.
everybody was like, "Cool, I think it's time for HD Animal Crossing.
Right.
We're ready for this," you know. And so E3 2015 comes around, and we get it. We get HD Animal Crossing, and it's Amiibo Festival, and
Uh,
it's so sad. It's such a
right.
sad moment because everybody was expecting Animal Crossing for Wii U, and they got what they were expecting, but it wasn't what they were
Right.
expecting, which is so crazy to say, you know?
Right.
Um, and I mean, okay, so Amiibo Festival, it isn't great, but the idea itself, I think, is really good. I would want them to revisit it, but not until another mainline game comes out.
Right.
A mainline game has to come out before they announce a new
Right.
Amiibo Festival, and they have to make it much better.
Right. Right.
But yeah, so I was thinking about that E3 2015. That was 3 years ago, and we have yet to see an HD Animal Crossing. You know,
Right.
in that time, we've seen later that year we got Happy Home Designer, and even later was Amiibo Festival.
Mhm.
Since then, we've gotten the update to New Leaf, the Welcome Amiibo update, and we've gotten Pocket Camp. So we've seen like 4 new Animal Crossings, but only one was an update to a mainline game.
Mhm.
But the other 3 have been these, side titles, these spin-off games,
Right. Right.
essentially. So, I don't know. I think, and I'm going to go through this in detail in the video, but I think 3 years is enough time to go by to announce the next big mainline game, you
Right.
know?
Right.
So so that's it. I'm going crazy. I'm setting my hopes high. I'm going to I'm going to reach for the stars, and then if I crash and burn, I guess I'll crash and burn.
But so it seems like we both agree that they will announce it, but were you thinking release in 2018?
um I don't think so. So the one thing that holds me back on that is uh, right now we kind of know of 4 other games that are in the future.
Mhm.
Of those games, I think Yoshi and Smash are the 2018 titles, you know?
Right.
Um, I mean, there's space. There's space for more games. Animal Crossing could fit, is what I'm saying. But it's a big game that has a lot to translate, you know?
Right.
And I think we're in an era of Nintendo where all of their games, like the Nintendo developed games, need to come out simultaneously around the world.
Right.
So I think if anything holds Animal Crossing back, it's going to be localization. Um, and I mean, I don't know. I can't prove where they are in the production process of the game,
Mhm.
so
I mean,
it's essentially a mystery for me.
right, right. I definitely agree that that is going to take the longest. Then again, what have they been working for the last 3 years or more? I
Yeah,
mean, hopefully it's been localization.
yeah, and There are going to be some details on that in the video I'm making, because I've been looking through the credits of all of these games and essentially just looking up the staff and seeing what they've been working on since then.
Hmm.
So that'll be a video for the future. It's going to take me a while to finish. There's a lot of research that's
Right,
been going
right, right.
into it. But it'll be fun to watch, and just, hopefully it points toward a new game coming soon.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Well, everybody, thank you so much for listening. If you want to be part of the conversation on all things Animal Crossing, join the Discord. We have a link in the description of the podcast. It's, like I said, totally free to join. You don't have to be a patron. And if you join, you can get Sergio and my friend codes, along with everybody on the Discord has shared their friend code. So this will be great help if you are having trouble with those gardening events, or, just want some more people to visit in your game. But if you do want to be a patron, visit patreon.com/ChewiePlaysNintendo for just $1. You can support our show and get tons of cool things. My friend codes on 3DS, Wii U, and Switch are there if you become a patron. So I like to play games with people. You can play games with me. It'd be fun. And so you can also have your thoughts shared on the podcast. In the past episodes, we've had some great conversations that have been submitted by our patrons. So those are pretty fun to have. You can get some art from Sergio. That's very cool. And we try to do what we can to make it really worth it for you. It's only $1, so right. I'm pretty sure it'd be worth it. Finally, if you are watching the show on YouTube, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to get the show in your weekly feed. And please leave us a review of the show wherever you are listening: iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, whatever lets you leave a review. Be sure to do that. It helps our audience grow, so we can grow this community and just have more people to talk Animal Crossing with. And then once again, thank you all for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Bye everyone, have an awesome week.